guys, welcome back to the channel. Today we're counting down the top 10 budget-friendly cities for full-time travel.
Yeah, these are all going to be cities that we've been to and really enjoyed being in. We verified you can really be on a pretty low budget there. Some of them are ones you may not have thought of. Some of them are big cities that are even surprising you can do it on a budget. These are cities that you can live on for between $3,000 to $4,000 a month pretty easily. So we're going to go over the cities, how we stay within that budget, because the biggest two things for your budget are going to be your housing and your food. A lot of the other stuff is the same every single month. So I think a big component of this is finding good housing in those cities. And to do that, you've got to be flexible. I think one of the traps that people fall into is they say, I want to go to this city in the summer and I want to do it at this time and be here. And then they just see what they can get, and that may not be a good time to do that. We look for the best deal in the whole world and then just go for that one.
Exactly. I think that's, like you said, the biggest trick is trying to find the housing. And I think when you pigeonhole yourself by a particular place or a particular time that you're going somewhere, that's where you're going to have the harder time trying to fit something into your budget. If you're more free with when you're going and specifically where you're going, then that's going to open things up a little bit more for you.
And a lot of these are going to be Airbnb because it is more economical to do that over the long term. We have been staying in a lot of hotels lately and in 2024, but if you're trying to go on a budget in some of these offbeat places, there may not be good hotels to choose from with the loyalty program. So without further ado, the number 10 city on the list is Palermo, Italy. What did you love about Palermo?
Well, Palermo, it's in Sicily, and it was such an interesting place to visit. It felt like somehow we had left Italy, but not, if that makes sense. It has a culture of its own that's different, a little bit different than the mainland. The food is different. There's so much to explore. The people were super nice there, and it did feel like a safe place to explore. And we did a lot of walking there. It was easy to get to a lot of the places that we wanted to check out there. And of course, we ate a lot of really good food there. Saw a lot of really cool things, and really got to experience a good chunk of the culture there in Palermo.
So I'm going to show you now how we go about searching for a place, because this is where people get their budget really messed up, is not getting good cheap housing. So if you're on Airbnb, what you're going to do is just pull up the main tab here, click on the anywhere button, and you're just going to type in Palermo, Italy, Sicily, and then you're not going to put in specific dates. That's where people go wrong. What you want to do is click this flexible tab over on the right and then pick month, and then don't pick any months at the bottom. That's going to search for the whole year, okay? Then put 2 people in, click search, and you're going to get month pricing. The second thing you want to do is go up to filters, pick entire home, because you don't want to be renting out just a room. Then you're going to take the price slider and move it all the way down to $1,500 or less. And lastly, you're going to come down here, pick guest favorites. That's going to give you the best places. So you can see in Palermo, there's still, even with that pretty tight criteria, there's still 195 homes we can choose from. And I'm just looking here, now you're only seeing top rated houses for a month-long stay for under $1,500, and I can already see there's some good ones here. We're going to look at this one right here. Just take the first one. It looks like it's $957 a month, and it'll tell you when you can do it. Now generally, if you go look into the calendar, you can also get that price other times of the year as well. But this is a good looking place in Palermo. We haven't really previewed this at all, but it looks really worth $1,000 a month, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, it looks like it has a great view. It has an outdoor space, nice living room area, a couple different places to sit in, so that's really nice.
So you have all these different choices in Palermo. So that is how you want to do your budgeting to get your apartment. That's what's going to keep you at around, in places like this, about $3,000 per month. So Moving on, second place we're going to look at is going to be Merida, Mexico. We spent a couple months there and we really enjoyed it.
Yeah, and Merida, Mexico is actually known for being the safest city in the country of Mexico, and they go above and beyond there to keep the city very safe. The reason why it's known for that, many things that they put into place. They have an entire wing of their police force that dresses like foreigners or vacationers and walks around town to make sure that everyone is safe. They have checkpoints coming in and out of the city. It's absolutely incredible. You can walk around there freely all the time. Our daughter came to visit us while we were there. She walked around by herself one afternoon and one evening, just taking pictures just for her enjoyment. Had absolutely no problems whatsoever on her own, and we just really enjoyed it. Not to mention the fact that the food is incredible, the people ridiculously nice, and you can find a lot of great choices there because there is actually a really huge expat community in Merida, yet it's still very affordable.
Yeah, it is affordable. It's great. It's close. It's easy to do. It's a place a lot of people love to go. Number 8 on our list is going to be one that you may not have thought of. It's going to be Bucharest, Romania.
Yes. Oh my goodness. We were so surprised by Bucharest. There was so much there, so much to see. And I gotta say that I was not expecting the incredible hospitality that we received from the Romanians in Bucharest. We were able to do some day trips from the city as well. The food, unbelievable. I can't even say enough good things about the food in Bucharest. And like I said, just lots of things to do. Architecture is incredible. And of course, it has a very, very interesting history, political, and beyond that.
Exactly. Now, I will mention if you're going to go to Bucharest, we recommend stay in Old Town because that's the central historic part. That's the best part of the city. And looking back here at the Airbnb map, you can see when I pull up Bucharest, you've got houses all over the city, but you can see right here, there's the word Old Town on the map. You just want to scroll in and zoom in on that right there, and then that'll show you only apartments in Old Town. So you can see here for Bucharest, $1,200 to $1,300 a month. These are pretty nice looking places, and we'll just zoom in on one here. This one's $1,388 for a month. Looks amazing, right in Old Town. I would definitely stay there.
Yeah, that looks like a great place. It looks like it has a great, working kitchen, a nice living room area. These are all things that are important to us. A nice sleeping space. This looks like definitely a place that we would strongly consider. Plus, the view looks like it's fantastic.
Yeah, we usually go for the view, so
yeah.
that's a good one. Next up is one of your personal favorites, which is Ubud.
Yes, Ubud in Bali, Indonesia. And, a lot of people talk about Bali, but, sometimes positive, sometimes negative. I find Bali to be just a really enjoyable place. And the people there are absolutely incredible. The food, I can't even say enough good things about it. But I think one of the things that makes Bali so special is the housing. Some of these villas that you stay in, like you feel like, oh, I could only dream of staying someplace like that. And then you look at the price and you're like, are you joking? I can actually stay at this place. We've stayed at some really incredible villas overlooking rice fields and just all kinds of stuff. They've been absolutely fantastic, gorgeous views, and the service that comes along with some of these villas is just over the top.
Amazing. Yeah, so let's take a quick look. Jump in. I've pulled up Ubud here,
Okay.
and just you see the very first page, you've got a home in Ubud with a private pool, $1,027 per month. I mean, you really can't get much better than that. It's a guest favorite. Because when you combine this pricing with the cheapness of the food in Bali, you could really come in $2,000, $2,500 a month pretty easily in Ubud, which is what makes it pretty high up on our list here.
Yeah, very easily. And another thing too is to not be too concerned about how far away from the center some of these villas are, because the delivery service and the drivers that you could get there are insanely reasonable. You can get food delivery for just a few dollars, and the same thing for getting a driver to take you into town. Super easy. A lot of times you can walk to a few places, not a lot, but you can get a driver for really cheap into town.
Now this next one seemed a little exotic to me when I think you suggested going there, and it is in the middle of the ocean, Funchal.
That's right, and this is on the island of Madeira, which is part of Portugal, and it is an absolutely stunning place.
Yeah, it is beautiful. We drove around there for a few days, and it was just amazing. There's waterfalls and lush mountains.
It's actually known as kind of the Hawaii of Europe, because the mountains, the jagged mountains, and the green. It's just absolutely beautiful place. So much to see there. I know that you think to yourself, you see that tiny little dot in the middle of the ocean, and you think, how could there possibly be there? But when you zoom in, whew, and you get there, it's stunning. Absolutely worth it.
Yeah, just looking at a couple of the properties here, you've got properties ranging from $900 to $1,400 per month. Most of them are going to have ocean views of some type, so this is really quite an amazing place and definitely fits the budget. Now the food isn't going to be super cheap, so you're looking more definitely over $3,000 a month, but still under $4,000 to spend a month in Funchal, I would say.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Next on our list is going to be Santa Marta, Colombia, and we absolutely love this place.
Oh my goodness, this is probably one of Colombia's best kept secrets. And within Colombia, it's a really popular place to visit. Like, you get a lot of people coming in from the big cities come to Santa Marta, but it is definitely not well known to, I think, the rest of the world outside of Colombia. It is a gorgeous beach town, and you can get incredible places here. We've spent several months in Santa Marta, and I can't say enough great things about the people in Colombia, specifically in Santa Marta. The food, I mean, I could just go on and on about the food in Colombia. Colombian food, period, is incredible, but this is really such a great place to stay, and such a well-kept little secret up until today. Sorry, we're blabbing it. But it's such a great spot.
Yeah, and I really loved being there. Everyone was so nice to me, even though I didn't speak great Spanish. They were very accommodating to try to understand what I was trying to say. It was great. People love to speak English to me if they spoke English. If not, we got through it. So that was pretty good. Pretty much all the accommodations you're going to be looking at here are going to be beachfront, oceanfront. Sunsets in Santa Marta are amazing. And yeah, it's just definitely makes our list as one of the top cities, and one that we would definitely consider going back to in 2024.
Yes.
Now moving on to number 4 on the list, we're getting into the ones that really start to strike a balance of value and good places to go. This is Kuala Lumpur, Malaysia, number 4 on the list.
Yes, and we have spent many months in Kuala Lumpur for a myriad of reasons, but Kuala Lumpur it's a big city, but with more of a small town feel to it. You feel like you're in a big city, but you don't feel like you're in a big city, if that makes any sense. The people there, so kind, so helpful. I think one of the big things that is a bonus for Kuala Lumpur is that English is so widely spoken. Because it is really a melting pot of a lot of different cultures, you're also going to get a ton of different types of foods that are going to feel like they're, authentic, cooked by, the people. And so that's also an incredible experience in Kuala Lumpur.
Yeah, and the apartments in Kuala Lumpur are among the best in the world. You're going to get a very, if you like a Western style apartment, you're going to feel like you're in one, because they're basically better than the apartments we have in the States. And the amenities are amazing, the staff is amazing, the just overall feel of these apartments are so wonderful. We paid about $1,500 for a 2-bedroom there. That was going pretty high. She was going to be recovering from her surgery there, and so we decided to get that big one, and it was just really comfortable for you, wasn't it?
It really was. It was a really nice, luxurious building. Like you said, it was a very generous apartment with a really generous kitchen, which we love because we do, as much as we love to enjoy the food out, obviously we don't want to eat out all the time, so we want to be able to cook. They had great grocery stores that we could buy food, you know, kind of like what we would cook at home, and be able to cook that at our apartment there, so that was really cool too.
Yeah. Moving on to number 3 on the list. This one's going to shock you, surprise you. So I am going to have to show you on Airbnb that you can actually do this. But number 3 on the list is Rome, Italy.
And you know, so many people, I hear this all the time from people, and I think it's because they go for such a short period of time. Rome is one of those places where people fly into, and then they use it as a springboard to other places in Italy, so they don't spend enough time there. But I think if you spend enough time in Rome, you will realize it's actually an amazing place. We have fallen in love with Rome. Of course, we're big city people, so that's easy for us to do. But Rome not only obviously has so much to offer, the people there are actually really nice, very kind, helpful. You know, if you know a few things in Italian, just learn a few things before you go. That really opens up the door to a lot of opportunities as well. I don't even have to say anything about the fact that the food in Rome is incredible. Don't get me started. And just, there's some great places you could stay there too. I think this is where people get hung up. They think, oh, there's absolutely no way I could stay in Rome for under $4,000.
Yeah, it is where people get hung up. And just looking at the method that we've just shown you earlier in the video, you can see, now there are a lot less choices than some of the cheaper places, but there are still really good options in Rome to be able to stay on a $3,000 budget even, because this apartment here is going to be $1,416 per month, and it looks really, really nice for Rome. You add in the fact that the food just isn't that expensive in Rome, and you could do Rome on $3,000 a month. Now if your budget's $4,000 like ours is, you could really do Rome, and that's why we have no problem going to Rome over and over again.
That's right. I think that is the big hang up for people, is just trying to find some place that they want to stay there for long term. And again, a big surprise is once you get outside of the big little touristy places, you'll see that the food is ridiculously reasonable.
It is. So coming in at number 2 on the list is going to be Ho Chi Minh City, Vietnam.
That's right. So Ho Chi Minh City, Saigon, is in the south of Vietnam, and it has several different districts that most people tend to stay in. Usually 2 to 3 of those different districts, so that will obviously affect your pricing. But honestly, no matter where you stay, you're gonna get a great price, and not just on Airbnb, but you can actually get really good deals on hotels there as well, honestly. So you could go either way, but the Airbnbs here are insane. The one we just stayed in recently when we were there the last time, just this last year, it was a gorgeous building, gorgeous amenities, and it was, you know, in a place where we could walk around or easily get a taxi and be driven somewhere for just a few dollars. And the food was not only incredibly delicious, but also insanely reasonable.
Yeah, and movies were like $4 per person, so
new releases.
We really are. We spent $1,100 on our Airbnb in Ho Chi Minh City, and that was pretty much getting the best building in the city. And you could go a lot under that because we only spent, we couldn't get to $2,500 spending, and we did pretty much everything we wanted to do. So $2,000 or even less is a great budget for Ho Chi Minh City. Pulling up the Airbnb list here, you can see that the apartments are ranging $600 to $700 up to $900, even as low as $500. These are really nice apartments. So basically, whatever you want your budget to be in Ho Chi Minh City, you could do $1,500 a month there pretty easily if you wanted to. And that makes it one of the best cities to go to for slow travel. but not the best, because the best is the one that we are sitting in right now, which is Bangkok, Thailand.
That's right. It's probably no big secret if you've been on the channel at all that this is probably our favorite city in the world, not counting any cities in the US. This city has a ridiculous amount of things to offer, not just the history and the sightseeing. They have a ton of new things. It's really easy to get around. It's the most, probably the friendliest city that we've ever been to in the world, in over 50 countries. And, you know, the food obviously is incredible. There's just really no negatives that I can think of here.
Yeah, the housing is great. We're in this apartment here. It is an apartment that overlooks the river. We just had, it's New Year's. We just had an incredible fireworks display that we got to see from the apartment. We're up real high in this building, so you have a commanding view of the entire city. And budget-wise, you can live pretty easily here for $3,000. We did splurge this month. We have a whole video on Bangkok, what we spent on the channel also, that you can look and see how much we spent on everything here. But it is just an incredible city. If you haven't been to these 2 or 3 top cities, you really need to get to them, because it will change your mind about slow travel and what is possible. Once you realize you can go to places like this for $3,000 a month, it'll change the way you think about everything.
Absolutely. It really does make a big difference when you have a list of cities like this, where you know you can go and spend a month easily and take your time. You don't have to rush through the place, and take time to savor it and its culture and the food and the people, and just kind of, you know, get a little slice of what life is like in each of these cultures.
Yeah. So this is our top 10 list. Let us know if you have any other cities that you think should have made the list. Let us know in the comments, and we will take a look at those. Maybe we'll go there next year.
That's right. Hopefully this was helpful to you guys. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel. We'll see you guys next time.